10 years ago in 2013, Detroit became the largest US city to ever file for bankruptcy, owing to years of mismanagement and population decline. Since shredding about $7 billion in debt, the city has seen some progress. Investments poured into the city, particularly the downtown area, with new businesses sprouting up and trendy restaurants and upscale apartments taking the place of previously dilapidated structures. But not everything is as rosy as it seems. Detroit still faces considerable challenges, particularly in the disparity between its flourishing downtown and impoverished neighborhoods, high poverty rates, and a persistent problem with violent crime. Before we continue, click that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. This channel will keep you updated on the most intriguing videos on economic topics all around the world. Let's revisit history and see how we got to this point. In 2013, Detroit, once a thriving hub of the American auto industry, filed for Chapter 9 bankruptcy. The city was in $18 billion of debt and struggling to provide essential services like functioning streetlights or adequate emergency services. Detroit emerged from bankruptcy in 2014, having shed $7 billion in debt and restructuring an additional $3 billion. The city's recovery plan also included investing about $1.7 billion into improvements. However, there was a human cost to these efforts. Around 32,000 active and retired city workers faced pension cuts and reductions in healthcare coverage. Pensions of general workers were cut by 4.5%, while police and firefighters saw their cost of living adjustments reduced to about 1%. The city also recouped extensive interest earnings from some retirees' annuity saving funds. The retirees' promised health insurance benefits shrank from $4.3 billion to $450 million. The aftermath of the bankruptcy has left many retirees struggling. Even a decade later, they feel the sting of higher healthcare costs and reduced pensions. Retiree Barbara Yocum now pays about $940 a month for health coverage she once received for free. She also saw a cut to her pension and had to return nearly $45,000 in what was known as a clawback. While the city's finances may have improved, the scars of bankruptcy remain visible in its struggling neighborhoods and the lives of its retirees. But it's not all bad news. Detroit has seen substantial investments and developments that have begun the city's transformation. Billionaire businessman and Cleveland Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert was one of the key figures who sparked new developments, moving his corporate headquarters to the city and pouring in investments, particularly in downtown Detroit, once a no-go area. This injection of capital led to the sprouting of trendy restaurants and upscale apartments, turning a previously dreaded area into what rock star Alice Cooper described as the coolest place around. Detroit has also seen some improvements on their financials. The city now boasts balanced budgets and credit rating upgrades, which are essential for its economic growth and stability. Moody's, a leading provider of credit ratings, upgraded Detroit's credit rating to a Ba2 with a positive outlook, signifying an expectation of further improvements in the future. This upgrade reflects Detroit's improved financial position in spite of challenges presented by the pandemic. Remarkably, Detroit has achieved operating surpluses even during these difficult times, a testament to its strong financial planning practices and effective management. Healthy financial reserves have been maintained, providing the city with a safety net in times of economic stress. Despite all of this progress, the city continues to face significant challenges. One of the key issues is Detroit's reliance on its fluctuating manufacturing base. The city's economy, which historically has been heavily reliant on manufacturing, particularly in the automotive industry, is prone to the volatility of this sector. Shifts in the industry, such as the move towards electric and autonomous vehicles or downturns in the economy, can directly impact Detroit's economic health. High poverty rates and low income in Detroit create practical and political challenges to raising revenue. The city's economic disparities make it challenging to implement policies that would generate the necessary revenue for further improvement efforts without placing undue burdens on its less affluent residents. The city is home to approximately 620,376 residents as of July 2022 and has a notable high poverty rate of 31.8%. This statistic means that nearly a third of the city's population is living at or below the federal poverty line. For context, the federal poverty line for a family of 4 was $26,500 in 2020, suggesting that a significant proportion of Detroit's families are surviving on considerably low incomes. Furthermore, the city's median household income stands at $34,762, which is relatively low compared to the US national median income of $68,703 as of 2019. This stark contrast emphasizes the economic disparity between Detroit and the rest of the country. These high poverty rates and low income levels have wide-range implications for Detroit's residents. They limit access to quality housing, education and healthcare, and often correlate with higher crime rates and fewer opportunities for upward mobility. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach, including economic development initiatives, job creation, improved education, and social services. Despite the ongoing struggles, Detroit's rich history and resilient spirit provide a solid foundation for potential growth and recovery. Efforts to improve the city, such as the erasure of blighted buildings, are commendable, but limited funding remains a major hurdle. Blight, characterized as vacant lots, abandoned buildings, and houses in derelict or dangerous shape, as well as environmental contamination, can breed illegal activities and further drive down property values, is a complicated issue that requires significant resources to tackle effectively. First, blight is difficult to define and quantify, making it challenging to develop effective strategies for its elimination. It is a problem that extends beyond vacant and dilapidated buildings and includes aspects like the effect on local property values, crime rates, and community well-being. Secondly, neglect and damaging actions can cause blight to worsen over time. If left unaddressed, blighted properties become breeding grounds for illegal activities and negatively impact the quality of life for residents, particularly those in low-income communities. Another critical challenge is the vast scale of blight in Detroit. Approximately 84,000 properties are considered blighted or at risk of blight. This presents an immense task for blight removal initiatives. The cost alone for blight removal is estimated to be around $850 million, a significant financial burden for a city still recovering from bankruptcy. Moreover, despite revitalization efforts in downtown and midtown Detroit, the issue of urban blight in inner-city neighborhoods often remains unaddressed. This disparity threatens the potential for a comprehensive recovery of Detroit, as the presence of blight in these areas hampers educational opportunities, job creation, and the aspirations of future generations. Lastly, while state laws provide tools such as rehabilitation acts and economic development initiatives to combat blight, these have proven insufficient in the face of the scale of the problem. Land banks, which help local governments acquire and clear blighted properties, are a crucial component of these efforts. But they too have faced controversies and require more transparency and accountability. Violent crime remains a significant concern in Detroit. The city's high per capita violent crime rate not only impacts the quality of life for its residents, but also hampers economic development. Police presence is more visible downtown, often focusing on preventative measures. This contrasts with the reactive approach seen in other areas, reinforcing the divide between the thriving downtown and the other parts of the city. A comprehensive and city-wide approach to public safety is necessary to address these disparities and improve conditions for all residents. In 2020, Detroit was ranked among the most violent cities in the US, with a rate of 2,248.4 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. The same year, the city reported 14,370 violent crimes, including assault, robbery, rape, and homicide, marking a 10.25% increase from the previous year. The city's total crime rate was 130% higher than the national average, with violent crime rates 462% higher. Despite a decrease in reported rapes and robberies, homicides and aggravated assaults saw an increase. The most common violent crime was aggravated assault, and the city reported 1,848 cases of robbery in 2020. However, in 2022, the Detroit Police Department reported an 11% decrease in violent crimes, including assaults, shootings, rapes, and robberies. Despite this overall decrease, there were particular areas of concern. Carjacking, for instance, increased by 21%, and the city saw a slight increase in homicides, totaling 309 homicides for that year. These statistics highlight the persistence of violent crime in Detroit and the considerable work still required to address it. These challenges and issues have led to a decline in Detroit's population, making it that much more difficult to transform back into the city it once was. Detroit's population decline has been a long-standing issue that spans over 7 decades, with a notable 10.5% drop in the past decade alone. bringing the total population down to 639,111 residents according to the 2020 census. This trend, while still slowing in pace compared to previous decades, is still significant and has led to various concerns, including the distribution of federal spending. The census data plays a crucial role in the allocation of federal funding and representation in the electoral system. The decline in population has been particularly noticeable among Black residents, with a 16% decrease reported since 2010. As we wrap up today's deep dive into Detroit, a decade after the largest municipal bankruptcy in US history, we're left with a city that is grappling with its past, present, and future. The last 10 years have seen significant progress, but challenges remain. The city has witnessed immense investment, sparking revitalization of downtown areas, the establishment of upscale restaurants, and the construction of apartment buildings, bringing some much more needed life back into the heart of Detroit. The city's finances have significantly improved, with balanced budgets, revenue growth, and the ability to operate without reliance on federal pandemic relief funds. Yet, this progress has not been without its drawbacks. The improvements in downtown Detroit have created a stark contrast with impoverished neighborhoods, leading to a growing disparity and discontent among its residents. In addition, city employees and retirees who bore the brunt of the bankruptcy's pension reductions are still feeling its impacts. This brings forth the significant fiscal challenges that the city faces in safeguarding and improving the pensions. In conclusion, while Detroit's recovery efforts have made significant strides in the past decade, the city still has a long road ahead. The challenge now is ensuring that all residents can participate in and benefit from the city's revival. We hope this video gave you a comprehensive understanding of Detroit's situation a decade after its bankruptcy. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth content.